Some ecosystems have a strong communal bond. It is not one who rules for all, it is all who rule for one. There is more of a feeling of togetherness. The idea is more family-like and has value on every member. But like in every family, there is always the parent or the authoritative role taken by someone. In this case, it happens to be the matriarch of the Dumpy family, the White's tree frog named Max. Whenever we think of a matriarch role, Max comes into play. It's her world and everybody else is living in it. Max is the largest, the strongest, and the fastest, and she has the most personality of all of the White's tree frogs. But despite all of that, even though they know it's her enclosure, she enjoys sharing the spotlight. Whenever it's mealtime, she doesn't enjoy sharing at all. But that's why we make sure there's enough food to go around. But as for Max, this enclosure truly is her ecosystem. She decides what happens. While she shares the spotlight, we will learn of her importance in the upcoming episode. Next is an underappreciated aspect of the ecosystem to the Dumpy family. Just because he's not a frog and he doesn't do much except swim around does not mean that Finn is not important and a key component to this ecosystem. He makes the environment more friendly, more enjoyable, more peaceful and tranquil, watching this beautifully colored blue and yellow fish swimming around miraculously throughout the tropical landscape. He's truly enjoyable, and without Finn, this ecosystem would not be what it is. He really is the cherry on top of the cake, the icing on the cake. He's the nail in the coffin, whatever you want to say. Finn is the staple to the entire ecosystem, and we're happy to have him. Whenever we talk about communal relationships, there's obviously more than just one. Spurgeon is the close number 2 to Max. Usually whenever you can find Max, if you look up a little bit, you usually can find Spurgeon. He's normally sleeping inside or on top of the leaves, inside of the Dumpy family's enclosure. Whenever it's time to eat, he wakes up. He normally heads past Max down to the bottom of the enclosure where he can turn a nice shade of brown to blend in with the background and hunt. And then it's a repeat of the cycle. He goes back up during the day and he sleeps in these beautiful shots of him resting high above the plants inside their 3-foot tall enclosure. Spurgeon is not afraid whenever it comes to sleeping and being recorded. He is a little bit more nervous than what Max is, and he's not quite sure of people yet, but he's not afraid whenever the doors are shut. He knows that he's safe, so he enjoys showing us his beauty whenever he sleeps. One of the greatest moments is seeing whenever the Dumpy family comes together in the enclosure. This normally happens at night, but during the day it also happens. You can see Spurgeon and Max hanging out and spending time together on the same leaf, just enjoying each other's presence. And this is Jeremiah. He's very shy, very nervous, and he's not taken too well to captivity, so I do the best that I can to record him. But he also has formed a bond with Spurgeon, so you can usually see the boys resting during the day together occasionally, but mainly they come out and they hang out together during the nighttime in the ecosystem. There are opportunities to record the Dumpy family together. It looks like they're gathered around and having a dinner talk, or something that you would think about whenever your family's sitting down to have a meal. This was recorded right before I was going to feed them. I thought this was one of the most humorous and also enjoyable moments, seeing the Dumpy family all turned brown, all down at the bottom waiting for the crickets to just fall from the top of the plants right into the water. Max is not somebody who's patiently going to wait, so she decided to go up and hunt. But the boys, they enjoy each other's presence and they hunt with each other at the bottom of the enclosure. It's truly incredible to see the color change of the white's tree frog. Brown can mean they're stressed, but it also, especially in this case, it means that they're just trying to blend in. Most people do not provide a large body of water for their white's tree frogs. Well, what you can see here, these guys not only are blending in, but they're hunting in the water. They're right on top of these roots that are gathered at the very top, the surface of the water. They're not heavy enough to sink, so what they're doing is they're sitting on top of it and using it as a place to stalk crickets. This was one of the funniest clips that I've been able to record. It almost looks like Max is getting ready to sneeze, but she's trying to hold it. Max, as we transition into seeing her role in the ecosystem, is showing you that she is truly the leader. These are larger hornworms. These are caterpillars to the Luna moth. And it's truly incredible to see such a large tree frog consuming such a large caterpillar. It's a good thing that they're soft and that Max has teeth. Max is the only animal that can consume the largest prey items, but we don't try to test her with that. We like to give a lot of smaller prey items because it just seems to be healthier and easier for them to digest. Caterpillars are soft, so there's not as much of a risk, but we still don't like to take the risk of using large hornworms. That was an anomaly for that moment. These are the result of a mature black soldier fly larva. They have no stingers, no mouth, and they're actually not even a wasp. This is the black soldier fly. They're harmless to any animal that consumes them. I put these inside the enclosure. Spurgeon was still going to sleep. Max, being the most alert and aware of all of the members of the Dumpy family, having that watchdog mentality, was knowing that there was something going on inside the enclosure, because I threw some things in and I shut the door immediately. So Max was really tempted to go and see who just invaded her home. This is truly one of the coolest things to watch, is a white's tree frog really high on top of the enclosure, climbing through these plants, almost moving around like it's her backyard. It doesn't seem to faze her one bit. She feels so at home on top of these plants. She's been searching to find the black soldier flies. They're no stranger to her, as she's eaten them a couple of times, but she has yet to find them on this occasion. For a large female white's tree frog, she's truly graceful, navigating throughout the landscape. She finally has come across the first black soldier fly. It was a very easy lunge. We get a chance to watch an adult white's tree frog hunt high on top of the trees, basically. This is a really cool representation of what it would look like in one of the forests where these actual animals dwell. The hunt is on. Here is a test to see exactly what strategy that Max is going to use. You can see there's a whole bunch of them all on top of these different plants. The bonsai tree has one, and the diff plants, 2 of the leaves have black soldier flies on. So which one is Max going to choose? There's many different black soldier flies, but if she makes the wrong decision, the rest of them could fly away and make it a lot more difficult for her to hunt. So she has to make the right decision. But which is the right decision? The remaining black soldier flies escaped, but the panic caused one of them to try to get higher up and scale the plant, which is another mistake and Max capitalized off of. While the others did manage to escape, it's only a matter of time. It seemed like Max had been planning that out, trying to take the farthest one from all the other black soldier flies to cause the least amount of panic and to try to have another opportunity at another strategic attack on them. Her green coloration truly blends in among the plants. Here we have another opportunity to submit one of the moments of Kingdoms. Sit back and enjoy one of the most unique experiences of the entire series. It was almost like she picked him right out of the air. And now she's on to the next one. Max showed you a little bit about what the Dumpy family is all about. Community. You didn't really get a chance to see the interactions between the others in this episode, but that's why this is an ongoing, continuous series. So there will be a lot more to report on from inside the Dumpy family. But the Dumpy family is not the only member of Kingdoms. There's also another enclosure who we've been referencing throughout the entire video. Pharaoh, the ruler of the Skink Dynasty, is going to show us not only does he eat live prey, but we've just learned that Pharaoh is a scavenger and he'll consume dead just as well as alive. But not only will he consume insects, we also are going to find out a little bit more about the preferences of the southeastern five-line skink. An animal who's not known to eat fruits and veggies. We're going to put that to the test and find out, does the southeastern five-line skink eat fruits and vegetables? We'll find out in episode 3. I hope you liked the video, guys. Please like and subscribe, and watch out for episode 3 coming soon.